Thank you very much.
I call Todd McLeod.
Mr Speaker, thank you. It gives me pleasure to stand and speak on the Social Assistance Future Focus 2010 bill. And the most important part, Mr Speaker, in that title is Future Focus. And I want to congratulate the Minister for her hard work over the last 15 months to work on this package of initiatives that will give every single New Zealander an opportunity to get out there and, when they're able to and when they're capable of, working. And we all know in this House, Mr Speaker, that work is the way that we provide for our families, that we make the lives of our children better, and that we make a more productive society. Now, this has been an interesting debate to listen to over the last hour and a half, and it's been a fairly robust debate, Mr Speaker, from all sides of the House. Now, what I would say to you is I've heard a lot of things from the members opposite about why we shouldn't make these changes, but I haven't heard a single member admit that we have an issue in this problem with long-term welfare dependency, and I absolutely agree with them that largely it's not the fault of individual members of our society who have found that they've been on welfare year upon year upon year. It's the fault of the members opposite of their government who said to them, this is a lifestyle choice that is acceptable for you to be on welfare, and that we will keep supporting you even though each of you is able to go out there and work for your families. Well, Mr Speaker, this bit of legislation recognises that every single member of society in New Zealand can do more and should be encouraged to do more than merely sit on the benefit. So what I've heard, Mr Speaker, from members opposite wholly is concern over the National Party delivering on another promise that it made to the electorate 2 years ago to look at welfare and to reform welfare to help New Zealanders get back to work. And I support this fully. I can't wait for this bill to get to Select Committee so we can hear from New Zealanders. I want to very, very briefly, Mr Speaker, touch on a couple of issues around this. Now, members opposite have said, you know, this is very unfair legislation. Well, I want to ask them a question. How do they expect taxpayers in New Zealand to keep affording to pay for a growing welfare bill? How do they expect the average household in New Zealand, low income because of years of economic underachievement by the last government, to keep affording to continue to prop up a welfare system which protects and promotes long-term welfare dependency? Now, in my electorate, Mr Speaker, in my hometown, my home city of Rotorua, we currently have 7,500 beneficiaries there. And I accept the members opposite who have said that unemployment has increased because of the recession around the world and the recession in New Zealand. If we take out the numbers of those extra who have come onto the unemployment benefit and have come onto the sickness benefit because of that recession, Mr Speaker, there's still 6,000 people who are on a benefit there. And if we break this down further and look at the DPB, there are almost 3,500 women on the DPB in Rotorua. Compare this to a city the size of Tauranga that is much larger. That's a very excessive level, Mr Speaker. Now, I've been out in my community talking to people, talking to mums about what they're concerned about, what assistance they need. And I've met a number of people who have come to me or I've spoken with, some of whom have young children who are at school or in care, who have gone out themselves and chosen to take a few hours work a week at no extra money for them, a few hours work a week. And when asked why would they do that, because members opposite say actually what will happen is somebody will end up working for $1 an hour. Well, the reason they're doing that is so they can keep in touch, they can keep their skills up, and I would expect some of these people, Mr Speaker, of their own volition, their own choice, when their youngest child reaches the age of 6, to go and seek work. And I applaud them, will support them in this. But of course, Mr Speaker, for any person out there, any woman who cannot find work, who does not have the skills or who can't get a job, of course this piece of legislation will be there to help them and to work with them. Their children will be better off. I want to conclude here, Mr Speaker, by giving you an example of what long-term welfare dependency does to New Zealand families. Now, Mr Speaker, I want you to think for a moment of a few years ago, the horrific murder of young Nia Glassy in Rotorua. Her entire family and all of those people there were on benefits.
Point of order. Order. The House will be silent. I have a point of order from the Honourable Parakura Horomia.
Mr Speaker, the member is going well out of the brief in this discussion. And he's making a mockery of what has happened in the past.
Order. Order. That's, I know what the members are alluding to. It's a debating point. It's not a point of order. I call Todd McLeod to continue.
Okay, thank you. In fact, I'm not making a mockery of anybody.
Order. I have a point of order from Dr. Nick Smith.
Speaker, I am about 2 metres from the Speaker and I cannot hear a word of what he is saying because of the barracking and screeching which is coming from the opposite side of the House. And I think if we are
Order. I just want to say to the member that this has been a robust debate, and I have to say that I can hear Mr. Todd McClay quite clearly from here. I have been able to hear other people, and I want to say that member's own party has been engaged in a substantial amount of barracking across from the other side. I think it's about even. Can I just say to members, points been made. I call Todd McClay to continue.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I pay great tribute to the young Nia Glassie and have little and no regard for the people who murdered her. But what I would say to this House, if you look at that family and those around them, there was long-term welfare dependency. The people who murdered her were on benefits, did not have jobs, and largely welfare dependency, long-term welfare dependency promoted by this last government in New Zealand, did nothing to help that family. This government will stand up and fight for those people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. That last presentation completes the debate on the first reading, and the question is that the Social Assistant Future Focus Bill be now read for a first time. Those who support that will say aye. Aye. The contrary will say no. No. The ayes have it. Party vote is called for. Clerk, will you please conduct a party vote?
New Zealand National.
58 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
43 votes opposed.
Green Party.
9 opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
5 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
E whaanga pōti kore whakai, ko tahi e tautoko.
Progressive.
1 opposed.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
I didn't get any vote from the Māori Party.
It's a split party vote. They split the vote, so they got 4 against.
Okay.
And 1 okay, and 4 against, and 1 in favour.
So it's 61.
Members, the ayes are 65, the noes 57. The bill will be read a first time.
Social Assistance Future Focus Bill, first reading.
Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Paula Bennett.